Today, I'm really excited to welcome Dr. Britany Baker, or as some of you may know her, your favorite Instagram dentist. Britany is a practicing dentist at Catawba Valley Dental Care in Charlotte, South Carolina, and I'm really happy to welcome her onto the podcast because she has a large and active following across her social media accounts, and I think she's just great on there. Her posts are really interesting, they're engaging, and they're often a lot of fun. And we're hopefully just going to uncover some of her secret tips and tricks for growing a dentist's social media profile so that they can help build brand equity while actually making the process manageable and even enjoyable, perhaps. So, welcome, Brittany. I'm really, really happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here too.
Cool. How are you?
I'm doing really good. It's my lunchtime. I've had a busy morning, but it's been
Lovely.
great.
Good, good, good. So let's just jump straight in there. I like to kind of do a quick introduction and just get a bit of a feel for who you are. So the question I like to ask is what was the like driving force behind you becoming a dentist?
Yeah, so my mom was a dental hygienist. So I grew up going to the dentist's office all the time, like after school and things like that. And my mom was always on to us about our oral hygiene and keeping up with brushing and flossing and all of that. So I've kind of always been in dental. And when I was a little kid, like in kindergarten, they were just like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, a dentist. And I was just like, okay, that's my plan. And so I just never did consider anything else.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're quite like goal oriented. When you get something set in your mind, you keep driving on it. That's probably where some of the success from the social media comes from, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely keeping the goal in mind.
Sure. Okay. So that's actually one of the questions I was going to ask you. Let's get straight into social media. Like, what would you say is the driving force behind the content that you put on social media?
I just really want to educate the patients. I feel like, you think about your stereotypical dentist and it's just some old white man, and I just don't think that it's very relatable. And here in 2022, I want to give dental advice to people that's one, accurate, because I have a lot of patients coming in with misinformation, then getting information from people who are not dental professionals. So I felt kind of the need to go out there and put out some really good, accurate information. But yeah, I just really want to help people and make this content relatable for everybody.
Yeah, interesting. Because I know a lot of people, they think, oh, I must do social media because it will help me bring in more patients or it will help me grow the business and stuff like that. But actually, I think when you come from a position of trying to provide value, it can completely change the game. So, like you said, you're trying to provide accurate information. And do you feel like having that clear vision of why you want to do your content helps you stay motivated and disciplined to make the content?
Yeah, of course, because keeping that goal in mind is going to kind of keep me on track. So, like, I'm going to have people watching because I'm providing valuable information, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
when you're providing this information, I know you have like so many things going on your social media, and people should definitely check you out. It's CLT dot tooth doc. That's correct, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
me.
They should definitely go and have a look because it's a lot of fun there. What kind of topics do you cover in terms of like, obviously you've got your value, but maybe you have some other stuff like personal stuff sometimes on there. Do you have like a split in your mind that you think about? And is that something you follow regularly?
Yeah, so I try to keep my content really authentic. So I try to pull my camera out whenever I am doing something. Like if I post a video about teeth whitening, it's because either the next day or that day I had a bunch of patients asking me about teeth whitening. So it's kind of like in my mind already. And yeah, that's kind of how I come up with stuff. Also, just if I've had a bad day, I try to just share that because there is this illusion in social media that every single day is going to be like happy and perfect. And that's just not true. So I try to give a good bit of reality as well. Like interacting with the patient is not always a positive experience. Even if you've not done anything wrong, the patient hasn't done anything wrong. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean? So we can't have this expectation in our minds.
Yeah. And I think that on your platform you have quite a lot of personal things in there. Like your character really shines through in there and you're not afraid to show that. I think that's something that might be worth just unpicking a little bit because I know a lot of people, they're very nervous about going on social media and they're worried about what kind of part they should show. Like, should they show this part that they go when they're all serious at work with people that they're a bit nervous about, or should they show other ones? And you just take it so naturally. So I guess just share some ideas about what you think on that topic.
Yeah, so I've always kind of had trouble separating my personality, like for professional and then just personal. I feel like I just act the same way around everybody. Which obviously, I probably don't, but for the most part, I kind of act the same way around everybody. But yeah, I do think that it's good to kind of share that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Well, I guess just to summarize it a bit more, it's like, how important do you think it is to be really genuine with who you are on your platform?
Well, that's what makes it relatable, right? Like that's why people watch, is because they're not just watching. You don't want to watch a robot like brush your teeth 2 times per day. Like, no, that's not fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like, you want to bring out your personality and show them like you're just a person just like they are. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing that I kind of keep in mind when I'm sharing my content too. It's just like, okay, I'm a dentist, like you're a podcast host, but like we're still just people, we still have the same kind of issues. Everybody's more similar than they think.
I definitely think that yours is particularly engaging because you show your personality so much, and it's really clear that you're authentic. So people feel like they get to know you really quickly, and it means that some of the information that you're trying to pass off, this value that you're providing, becomes even more valuable because people are actually willing to listen. So, for example, what would be the point in sending out information about the correct ways to floss, for example, if no one's interested to listen in the first place? And I think
Yeah.
that's your character really shines through. So I'm just going to go straight in and ask you, like, how big do you think a role plays of humor? How important do you think humor is for you on your social media?
I mean, it's super important for me. Like, I use humor all throughout my day, because I think just laughing and just like being happy and just kind of taking things lightheartedly just helps you get through the day a lot of the time, especially whenever you're working in healthcare and you have to deliver bad news a lot of the time. If you're like a really empathetic person, like for me, I have to like be really intentional about bringing in like positive energy and not letting bad feelings kind of overwhelm me in a way. I think that's also one reason why I don't mind to share my struggles on social media, because I have noticed, like, I've seen myself go from being in kind of a hard place mentally, and just seeing like the difference in things that I'm doing day to day, versus whenever I'm in a happy place. So it really does take intention and just being consistent with everything. Like my social media, I'm consistent. My self care, I'm consistent. Like exercise, like everything is just being consistent, and like just building those habits.
Hmm. It's really interesting what you're saying because I think a lot of people see social media as a real chore and something that they don't really want to do. But it's really clear in what you're saying that you actively enjoy it. It's like a cathartic thing for you. And I guess it'd be really interesting to kind of unpick how other people can approach it from a position of enjoyment rather than this is a horrible part of the job. Have you got any ideas about that?
Yeah, I think that really just paying attention to what makes you happy. And, I could have an Instagram page that was like really boring and I'm just sharing like dental information, or I can have an Instagram page where I'm sharing all of this dental information and also doing things that truly make me happy. And that's going to be different from person to person, right? Like, I'm not going to like the same things as everybody else. So just with paying attention to what actually makes you happy on the inside, and then kind of leaning more into those kinds of things and integrating it into your social media, so it's not something that you dread but something that you actually like to do.
And that way it's just so much more natural. Yeah, I think it's great. So
Exactly.
do you look at other platforms as well, other social media profiles, and see what they do and think, oh, that's quite a cool video, and then sort of plan it into yours? Or do you literally just have a situation and say, I'm going to do a quick video about that?
Yeah, so I think that it's kind of important to do both. Personally, I on my CLT Tooth Doc Instagram page, I have other dental people who I really like, I actually have them muted. So I don't see their posts on my feed because, the more that you scroll, the more you're going to be influenced by other people's ideas. And then therefore, the less valuable your content is going to be because it's going to be less original. So I think that it's really important to come up with things and be creative while also playing into like the trends, like doing the reels with the popular audios and like making it yours. I think that doing that kind of lets you participate with everybody else and doing that kind of thing. And it also, that kind of stuff will help you bring in people from other niches into your page. You know what I mean? Like doing the trending kind of videos. And then what makes them stay is you being yourself and being creative and like you're offering something unique.
That's really interesting. Yeah, that's a real gem there. Thank you for that. You're bringing people in from other areas purely because they have a shared experience of that music that they've seen on other videos. You're then
Yeah.
putting it on yours, and you bring them in, and then you have ideas about how you can keep them, through your character. I think
Yeah.
what's quite difficult is some people, they're not that active themselves as a user on social media, and so they find it hard to pick these things up. Would you recommend that if you are someone who's in charge of putting the social profile up, that you also take an active role in becoming a user?
Of course, it is quality over quantity all the time on Instagram. I totally engage with people in my community all the time. I respond back to all the comments, and I like send people not video, but voice recordings, messages. Like if I see somebody's page who like, a finance page or something that I've learned a lot of stuff from, like I will send them like a message saying like, hey, like this is what I like about your page. I appreciate you putting this out here. And I think by really doing that, it has helped me just kind of engage with other profiles. And then that keeps people coming to my page too, because I'm actually talking to people. Like I'm a real person. I'm not just some like YouTube video or something. Like I'm actually interacting with them. So like I'm on my DMs all the time, my comments, liking, like on stories and everything. I just think that the more engaged you are in that, the more activity that your page is going to see, and then the more people will see your page because of the algorithm.
And I think it makes a difference to be about you, particularly as a person, as opposed to the practice sharing value. For the practice you work at, do they have their own social media profiles as well?
They do have a social media. They have an Instagram page and Facebook. It's ran by some marketing people. They just kind of post generic stuff. That is one thing that I was thinking about whenever I was first creating my Instagram. Was am I going to do it for my practice or am I going to do it for just me as an individual? And I ultimately decided to do it as me as an individual because I felt that more people would be likely to engage with my page as a person versus a business. Because like why would someone in like Kansas want to follow Catawba Valley Dental Care in Charlotte, North Carolina? You know what I mean? So I thought also like if I ever did leave or something, I could bring that with me and it wouldn't just all be tied to the practice.
Definitely. And plus you are helping the practice anyway, because, people see where you work and then they want to be interested in that. But it
Mhm.
makes such a huge difference. Now, if I'm ever in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm desperate for some dental care, I know where to go. That's
For
purely
sure.
from your account. So I was going to ask you, how much do you delve into the analytics of the account? I know people think, oh, you must do this, you must do that. What's your take on that?
Okay, I'll look at it, but I don't look at it too heavily. I'll probably check it like once every few days, or like if I have a video of that, like I'll check it. But it's not like I'm relying on it because, for me personally, if I post something and then this was back in the past, I would look at my stuff and I'd be like, oh man, like it didn't get a lot of likes or something. And then in my head, I was just like, well, your video wasn't good enough. And so then why would I want to make another video? You know what I mean? I'm a perfectionist. And whenever I first started my account, I wanted every single video to just be perfect. Like if I had like weird lighting, or like if I said something perfectly, then I would just like not post it. I would like make it again, make it again, make it again until I had it how I wanted. But then I realized like it's not about being perfect. It's just about putting that out there. Because what am I trying to do? I'm trying to show people like I'm just a real human being, just like everybody else. Why would I want to put out only perfect content? Like that's not who I am, you know?
I think that's so interesting because I know a lot of people are really worried about, oh, I must have everything in place. It must be perfect. I must have the best ring light. Everything's got to be spot on. And then they look at the analytics and they think, okay, I must post every day at 1 p.m. and all these kind of things. But actually, I think, especially for people who are starting, it makes it so much easier if you don't worry too much about that. And you just, when you have an idea, you just get the camera out and you speak to the camera and then you put a few captions or whatever it is that's your style and a bit of music. But not to overthink it, because ultimately overthinking leads to inaction, and that's the opposite of what you're trying to do.
Exactly. And I have had that experience before. This is not the first Instagram page that I've ever had. Like, I had another dental Instagram page that wasn't actually successful in dental school. And then I also had another Instagram page, just like some outdoor stuff, like in that area. But neither of those pages were successful. And I was trying to do something similar to what I was doing with my CLT Tooth Doc page. And honestly, the main difference was I wasn't obsessing over the analytics of everything, like how many views, how many likes, how many shares, whatever. I was basically just like, you know what? Like, this is me. I'm going to put it out there. I'll keep putting it out there, whether or not people like it. And eventually they did like it. And I've only had my page for like a year. So it's
Yeah.
grown quite.
No, it's had rapid growth, definitely. I was going to ask you, what do you enjoy about the effects, like the growing of your social media? Because I get the impression you actually really do enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. I love it. I just like the opportunity to meet people and like talk to people. Like, there are some dentists that I follow that I really look up to, who are like role models to me, who now will kind of engage with me on there. I think that's pretty cool. Just really the opportunity to meet other dentists and talk to people. One thing that I really, really enjoy, is really fulfilling for me, is the pre-dental students and the dental students that message me. I love talking to them because I personally had a really rough time in dental school. Like, it was not a great time in my life. And getting to talk to other people about, like, I'm happy now. I'm happy now. You look at my page, like, I have this great job, like, I'm, all the time. But like in dental school, like, I was going home and I was crying every day. So I let people know of the hard times that I've been through, because everything is temporary, good and bad. And you just got to kind of rock with whatever's going on in the moment.
Yeah, I hear that definitely, and that must be really rewarding actually for the people who contact you to see that, because like you said, sometimes you see stuff on social media and just think, wow, they've nailed it, their life's so much better than mine, and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And that's actually some of the more slightly not so nice parts of social media, but you are actively doing the opposite of that. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
My next question was going to be, what do you think are the key tips? So if someone's listening to this and they're thinking, okay, you've sold me, I'm going to have a go at this. I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to try and provide value. I'm going to show my own character so I don't have to sort of make something up. What are the like key do's and don'ts, the quick starter guide from you?
Well, for one thing, like we were talking about earlier, staying creative, not just taking content from someone else and redoing it. Like, okay, I know people do that and you might be successful doing it, but I think that you're going to have the most success putting something out there that's unique. Also participating in those trends, like I was saying, because that's going to pull in people from other niches. Just not really posting inauthentic stuff, honestly, because I think that people can read right through it.
Yeah, I think the only thing that is sort of acceptable to borrow in my mind is that if you see a post that you really like and it's nothing to do with what you post, but it's just like five things that blah blah blah, then maybe you can take that hook and think, okay, they did like 5 reasons why buying a Rolex is a good idea, and then
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
5 ideas why this and that is good as well. I think that's quite good.
Yeah, that's good. I do that stuff. I do that as well. But as far as like taking info from like other dental pages or something and then doing it, that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Definitely. So what can you share about how you've actively increased engagement on your profiles? Because that's another thing some dentists are worried about. They often say to me, they're like, yeah, I don't really worry about getting a large social media profile following because they're from all over the country. They're never going to come and actually see me. And I think that that's centered in the idea of what you're saying, giving value, as opposed to trying to get patients, makes that sort of not necessary. But
Mhm.
people are worried about as well how they get more engagement. So I guess, how do you Do you do things, first of all, I guess, to actively increase engagement? And if so, what do you do?
I mean, really just talking to people, like commenting on other people's stuff. Like one thing that I'll do that's pretty good is I will look up things like in tags, like dental problems that pages that are not dental pages have posted about. I'll go on there and I'll like make a comment like, hey, I'm a dentist, like this is blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So I can provide my information that way to people who would probably never see it. And also just DMs, like literally talking to people, replying to people's stories, like liking people's stories, also posting on your own story because stories are wild. You can post anything on your story almost. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that is honestly one of the biggest things too, because the stories are the things that are going to be the most relatable.
Mm.
Stories just take out your phone and just like click, you
Yeah.
know?
So easy to do, and everyone makes them themselves often. When they go to a show, they might do a quick story themselves, so they can really relate to it.
Yeah.
Interesting. And do you have any particular video editing software that you use or any hacks that you have that make it really easy?
Yeah, I use Splice, SPLICE. They just increased their price to $4.99 a month, which not a month, but a week, which is kind of expensive. I personally really love it though. I've found how to use it really well. Like in the beginning, it used to take me probably 1 to 2 hours to edit a video, and now I can do it in maybe 30 minutes or so. Yeah, Splice.
So there is a bit of a time investment. There's no way to get around that, really. Like you said, even though you've got used to it after a year or more, it still takes half an hour. So what would you say to someone who's thinking, I just don't know that this is worth it, or I don't know if I want to put in the effort to do that. What would you, a dentist that is, what would you say to them?
Like it sounds like a lot of effort, but it really isn't, because if you think about it, like, okay, I have to do social media and it's something extra. You know what I mean? Like I'm creating another thing for me to have to do during the day. Whereas really what you should do in order to be the most authentic and also have the best content is just record what you're already doing. It's not taking up any more time. Just I take out my camera all the time when I'm at work and I'll just like record things. Like if I'm thinking about something, I'll set up my phone and then I'll like talk about it for like 2 minutes or something like that. And then like whenever I do find time in a week or two, I can like sit down with my phone and I can edit those videos. But just thinking about pulling out your phone like in the moment and just capturing the footage, and then you can always edit it or something later. Or you could even have like one of your team members, like if you're at a dental office and you do have somebody who's like a social media manager or something like that, maybe seeing if they could edit the video and things like that for you.
Definitely, or you can find someone online who can quite cheaply edit videos. But I think what you said is a really important point, which is just that often you're doing things that are really valuable for others to see. People
Mm-hmm.
love to see that. It's like you're just thinking it, you're just doing it, quickly film it, and then you've got a video. You don't need to sit in the evening and think, oh, what video am I going to do tomorrow? That stifles the momentum really.
Exactly. Like you don't do that. Like I don't really plan my content like that. Like I might plan like, okay, I want to make a video about like fillings or something, you know what I mean? But then like I will really, really want to talk about fillings whenever I'm recording it. You know what I mean? Like I won't record it and be like, I don't really feel like doing this right now, but I guess I'm gonna do it. I don't ever do videos like that.
Mm. Okay, well, I am aware that you're in the middle of your lunch and you've given us so many gems, so I really, really appreciate it. I think anyone who's listening should definitely follow you, which is clt.toothdoc. And just want to say again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome lunch and speak to you in the future.
All right, good to meet you. Have a good
All right,
day.
then.